once again. Now up in front of the internet without having to brush my hair, but you know, sometimes these things happen. And I'll see the difference. My hair is my hair. It just does my hair things. Regardless. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Mary Margaret. This is my smoothie breakfast for the morning. And Juno has brought me my shoe. Can I have it? No, she wants me to take it with her. She wants to go outside with me. Granted, she brought me my slipper, but she was very insistent that I had to come with her. I'm not going to come with her. Anyway, good morning. Happy Friday. So, usually on Fridays, I roll my little D100 and I look up that date, or today's date, that many years ago, and I talk about any of the current events that happened on that day that I can find. Let's see. Last week, we talked about some ships in World War II. So that's fun. But today, we're going to do something a little bit different. Well, at least lately. I'm just not going to roll the dice. Today is actually my father. He was 95 today. And so I am going to go look at the day he was born and see what happened that day. Spoiler alert, I already did a little bit because I wanted to make sure that this was going to be fruitful. I didn't want to just like throw down a new system and then have to walk it back. So we're going to go back in time to April 24th, 1925. My father was born on 4/24/25. You just don't forget that. It's very easy to remember. He was born in Ohio. I don't know much about like his birth, except that like, so his parents were married, but the way he told it, his parents were married. His mom went into the hospital to have him, and then, you know, like a week later or whatever, she came out and just didn't go home to her husband because it wasn't working. I don't know. He wasn't a very good husband, I guess. He lived in Ohio, so she moved to Pennsylvania. I don't know if her family was from there. No, they weren't. Well, maybe they were. She didn't live with her parents. She lived with her either grandparents or aunt and uncle or great aunt and uncle, because her mom died when she was very little, and her dad just, it wasn't common in those times for a man to take his child, so she met him a couple times, but dogs got mad at each other. Dang. Anyway, that's like short story of both my father and my grandmother. I probably know more about. That's not true. I was gonna say I probably know more about my grandmother than I know about my father in terms of childhood. So my father didn't remember his childhood, but he had heard stories of hers. But no, I think I was able to piece some stuff together about his. Anyway, 4/24/25. I'm going back in time, 95 years. It was also a Friday, which is fun. And the Juno, Finn. Finn, just bite her whole face off. Just bite her whole face off, Finn. Don't let her do this to you. Juno. And Finn's just like, hold me, please. I guess. Oh, God. Okay, so Finn wants to be up here. Finn doesn't want to be down there with Juno anymore. Okay. Look, Finn, it's you. It's you on the computer. Look at you. Juno is very upset at this, but that's okay. He does, when they get into fights, he just crawls up on my lap and says, Mommy, please, don't let her touch me. Don't let her hate me. Don't let her eat me. No, Finn's a lover, not a fighter. All right. Okay. April 4th or 24th, 1925. Also, can you believe it's April 24th already? I used to feel like it was just April. Okay, so former German Crown Prince Wilhelm stated that he saw a chance for restoration of the German monarchy in the event of a victory from monarchist candidate Paul von Hindenburg on the April 26th election. So that is the event that Wikipedia cites as having happened, or he states it was like a speech. And there were a bunch of people who were like born and, you know. Are you good? How you doing, sir? Can I help you? He's good. Okay. So what I wanted to do was look up this Prince Wilhelm and see what sort of caused him to be the former crown prince. He's no longer the crown prince at this point. Oh, Prince Wilhelm of Prussia. He was the eldest child of Crown Prince Wilhelm of Germany and Duchess Cecil of Mecklenburg-Schwerin. He was the second in line to the German throne and was expected to succeed the throne after the deaths of his grandfather, and father, both of whom, however, outlived him. Ooh, yikes. I sort of wonder if they meant his father and they linked to the wrong one. Let's investigate. Well, the other crown prince wasn't. Oh, he was born in 1906. But so he would have been like 19. Not even, he would have been 18. Okay. We just need to find out. We need to find out in what context Crown Prince Wilhelm stated that he saw a chance for the restoration of German monarchy. So we're going to look up the April 26th, 1925 German election. April 26th, 1925. Well, that's not what no. German election. Here we go. Okay. So Hindenburg was the candidate of a broad coalition of the political right. Many of the right hoped that once in power, he would destroy the Weimar democracy from the inside and restore pre-Weimar status quo. What probably, at least in part, means the monarchy. Brain please. They were the first direct elections of the office of the President of the Reich. The election was important because of the turbulent times in which it occurred, and because under the Weimar Constitution, the head of state wielded considerable power. Hindenburg would again be returned in the 1932 election and would play an important role during the rise of the power of the Nazi Party. However, many of Hindenburg's 1925 backers were subsequently disappointed. Although in the years that followed his election, many questioned the constitutionality of certain of his actions, Hindenburg never attempted to overthrow the Weimar Constitution outright. So, this has not answered my question. So I'm going to type in Crown Prince Wilhelm Paul von Hindenburg. So Kaiser Wilhelm II abdicated as German Emperor and King of Prussia in 1918. This ended the House of Hohenzollern 500-year rule over Prussia. Wilhelm moved the municipality of Doom to Heist-Dorn. No, Dorn. It's not Doom. Düren. The Weimar Republic allowed Wilhelm to remove 23 railway wagons. That doesn't make it. I don't want to read that out loud. This doesn't. I don't know what the Kaiserreich is. Kaiserreich. I mean, it means rule, right? Kaiser. The Reich means rule, I'm pretty sure, or reign. Oh, it's the empire. It's also a game, if you're interested to know. This is not giving me any information. And I'm honestly sort of surprised that Wikipedia put this little blurb in there. Former Crown Prince Wilhelm stated in what? Did he give a speech? Was he like overheard at brunch? That he saw a chance for restoration of the German monarchy. We'll just restoration of German monarchy, 1985. Restoration of German monarchy, 1935. Oh, I see. They did not last very long because the Holy Roman Empire came before them, probably, is my guess. So they consider themselves the Roman now. Sorry, just it's a good smoothie. So. What? They still have. Oh no, they're just still alive. The princes and their children are still alive. They're not anything. They were. The title German Emperor. Oh, not the German Emperor himself. This is very disappointing. But something that we've learned, or at least I've learned, is that after the monarchy was dismantled in 1918, which would have been after World War I, they weren't all killed. So that's sort of a plus. Historically speaking, that's an outlier. Generally, when people get rid of their monarchies, they just kill them all. Because it's one of those things with the monarchy, is if you're alive, you're still the prince, even if there isn't a princedom for you. You're still a prince. So, 1918 dismantled the monarchy. Or monarchy sort of quietly dismantled itself. And while the Wilhelms were still alive, and in the 1920s, they wanted many Germans wanted, she's just carrying my shoe around, to bring the status quo of the German word empire. They wanted to bring that status quo back. But they thought that they had a chance when this guy, what was his name? Paul von Hindenburg, was elected as president, or Kaiser. Okay, the one thing I can find about Prince Wilhelm of Prussia, the son of the crown prince who was never actually made king, because the king abdicated before his son became king. So Wilhelm, this would have been Wilhelm III. Is it Wilhelm III? That'd be Wilhelm IV. I don't know. People just need to name them children different names. So, after graduating from secondary school, Wilhelm went on to study at the universities of Königsberg, Munich, and Bonn. In 1926, that's a year later, while a student at the University of Bonn, Wilhelm joined the Borussia Corps, a student organization of which his father, grandfather, and other members of the Prussian royal family were members. Well, okay. So this isn't very interesting. And they're not going into detail about this thing that he did and said and got himself probably in trouble for maybe a little bit. Well, the Borussia Corps it's described here as a student organization, which secretly means fraternity. It was a fraternity, and and in 1909, what is this? They were suspended for hazing. Not the people, the fraternity was. So that's a good sign when your entire royal family comes from a fraternity that gets expelled for hazing, suspected for hazing. He seems like a sort of an upstart, little Wilhelm. But he seemed to have benefited from not being a prince. So, while he was a student at Bonn, he fell in love with another student. In 1940, the ex-emperor recognized the marriage as dynastic, and the girls were accorded the style of Princess of Prussia, though their father was not restored to his former place in the putative line of succession. Oh, interesting. So his daughters were welcomed back into the royal family, but he was not technically. I don't understand. These people are still called His and Her Royal Highness. But there's no. They aren't a monarchy, so they're like really clinging on there. I don't know. So, moral of the story: April 24th, 1925. Somewhere, one of the Wilhelms said something about thinking that there could be a restoration of the German monarchy, assuming that Paul von Hindenburg became president. Paul von Hindenburg did become the president. There was not a restoration of the German monarchy, but they were holding out for it for a long time. Yeah, they even as late as 1933. So that would have been 15 years after the fall of the monarchy, or the abdication of the king. 15 years after that, they were still like, you can't marry this woman because you might make mongrels. Like, mongrels aren't allowed to be queens, so just in case. So he was wrong. Cannot for the life of me find out where he said that. I bet if I looked up some German newspapers at the time, I don't know. German newspaper news 1925. Historic German newspapers in German online. Can I access these? This website looks like a child made it in 1996. So I don't know how much I trust it. Newspapers, regional newspapers, I guess maybe. Coburger Zeitung. Zeitung newspaper. Can't tell. If this is like what I want, I also cannot tell how to search it. Like if it's in text or if I have to like go through images. If I have to go through images, this isn't gonna happen. Schnellsuche Ortsdatenbank. Well, that means like fast search Ortsdatenbank. Ort is location, date, bank. So I don't know. Hold on, let's just type in April 24, 1925. Nope. Ihre Suchenfrage liefert keine übereinstimmenden Ergebnisse. So, my searching question returned no übereinstimmenden. No information, basically. Übereinstimmenden Ergebnisse. Ergebnisse is not a word I recognize. Suchen Sie in allen Kategorien? Probieren Sie andere Suchbegriffe? Wählen Sie allgemeinere Suchbegriffe? Allgemeinere. Man, it's been, how many years has it been since I took a German class? This is a fun question. It would have been 2009. So it's been 11 years since I took a German class. What you doing? I went to Germany. No. I was always better at reading it than I was at speaking it. I'm terrible at writing it. My spelling is atrocious. Anyway, so I did what I could. I did with my 11-year-old German. I did attempt to look in German newspapers at the time. I did not attempt very aggressively, nor did I succeed, nor am I going to try harder. So that's where we landed. They wanted a new German monarchy, they didn't get one. And meanwhile, in Ohio, a little baby boy was born to a woman who would leave her husband because he just wasn't good enough. So, and this has been Flashback Friday. I have been me. You have been you. We've had a good time together, I think. Hopefully you agree. Make good choices, don't do drugs. And I'll see you on Monday for the Magic Monday. I may have to do that early too. Oh, I clicked it all.